Hello, everyone. This is Coach Allison, and I'm back with Defy Aging. And this week we're in week 43, so we are definitely winding down for the year. So this week we're back to rotating around the turf. We're going to have some intervals again, and there's going to be 3 rotations and with 6 exercises, so 6 stations. We have some new ones this week, so some new exercises to show you. There's going to be one long round. So let's explain the intervals. The rest time is going to remain the same for the whole routine, and the work time is going to reduce. So round 1 is going to be 50 seconds on, 40 seconds off. Round 2 is going to be 40 on, 40 off. And round 3 is going to be 30 on, 40 off. So that 40-second rest stays the same for the whole routine. And again, like I said, your work time reduces. And of course, a team builder at the end. So let's review our 6 exercises. Okay, so station 1 is actually slightly advanced. So I'm going to show you some other options actually first before I show you the final, most advanced option. We're getting towards the end of the year. If you're someone who has been with us for the whole year, we can start throwing in some of these more advanced movements. It's a goblet walking lunge. So walking lunges are already a pretty tricky movement in and of themselves. And then adding the goblet is going to be kind of the final progression. So I'll show you that at the end. But really quick reminder on walking lunges, big step forward. You can put hands on your hips, hands down at your sides if you're going to take this option of not holding the goblet. And I'll show you that in a moment. And we bend both knees and feet together. Other leg goes forward, bend both knees, feet together. You don't have to get as low as I just did. You get as low as you're able to go. The most important thing, well, there's a lot of important things, but is that you're bending that back knee. You see a lot of times kind of people keeping the back knee straight, in which case that's really turning into like a runner's stretch like this. So we do have to bend both knees. Make sure that back foot isn't kind of angling outward like this and cocking out to the side. It's kind of dangerous or risky on the ankle and the knee integrity, and even up to the hip, because it kind of throws everything out of whack. So keep that back foot, look at my back foot, keep it straight. Don't let it do this. Okay. And we don't want to lean forward or let the hips like sink back like this. See a lot of those body positions. So it's, don't overthink it. Take a step, keep your body up tall, and then bend both knees as low as you're able to go. So that's the walking lunge. We know that. You can choose to do it with no weights. I'm going to show you the goblets, which is our suggestion for progression this week. And you're going to grab the kettlebell, holding it goblet style like this. And then you're going to do the walking lunge with that goblet style kettlebell. I'm going to kind of turn to face you, but anyway, I can only fit a couple of lunges in the frame. So making sure that you're not leaning back to kind of let the kettlebell rest on your body, first of all, but that you're not letting the kettlebell kind of like fall down here. When you're doing your lunges, keep it at the chest if you're going to go with this option. Okay? So if you're ready for that step, if you're ready for a progression with your lunges, we'll try that goblet hold this week. The next station is a lateral slide. We haven't used our sliders for a long time, so we're going to use these. Okay, so feet on the sliders. You want your whole foot on the sliders. So a lot of times if we're doing certain things like a mountain climber, we want just the toes and the ball of the foot on the slider. But this, we are going to want the whole foot. Okay, and we're going to take lateral slides. Okay, so it's a very soft bend in your knees, like from the side. You can see it's just very subtle, not even remotely a half squat, just very subtle. And we're going to just continue sliding to the side. Okay. I'll do a couple from the side or from the front view. Okay. It's actually kind of fun. Anyway, but a lot of the focus here is control. We have to use those hips and the strength in those hips to control not sliding out too far. And then, of course, pulling that other leg in. So that is station 2. All right. Station 3, stability ball plank. Okay, we're also taking our plank up to a more advanced option. So again, let me show you standard planks, and when you're ready to progress, up to another option, we can. Okay, standard planks. You can choose to do the floor in a knee plank version or a toe plank version. Either one, though, we want to make sure that the hips aren't sticking up in the air like this. So you don't want like this. If you're on the toes, we don't want like this. Okay, and you can even come up to something, like an incline, of course, and do an incline plank. Everyone, I think, knows what that looks like. But I want to show you the stability ball plank because that will be our challenge this week. Okay, it's exactly the same body position. Forearms are just on a stability ball. This is the way I like to get on it. I like to keep one leg up, step one leg back, get my arms positioned right, then bring my other leg back. Some people prefer to start with their knees on the floor and kind of get their elbows on it and then pop up. It's up to you how you like to get on there. Okay, but we're not resting the body on it. So that's very important, is that we're not just resting the torso on the ball like this. Your torso has to be off the ball. It's going to kind of take it to a middle ground. You can rest. Middle ground meaning like work your way up towards that. You can press the ball into a wall like this. And that is a good starting point to kind of get used to the ball, the feel of the ball, because it's very unstable and unsteady. But you have a little bit of a stabilizer there with the ball, so the ball can't completely roll away. So it's a good, if you've never tried it before, or if it's brand new to you, that's a good way to start. And then if you feel like you've gotten used to the feel of the squishiness of the ball, pull that ball away from the wall. All right, that's our stability ball plank. All right, next station is a step up jumping jack combo. Don't worry, we're not doing it literally all together. But there's a little bit of coordination, so be ready for that. I can't get this. There we go. So you're going to do one step up, two jumping jacks. One step up, two jumping jacks. I don't care what leg you step up with. This is really more for the cardio. If you're a really well-organized person and you want to continue to alternate which leg you're stepping up with and you can keep that coordinated in your head, great. But that's not really the focus, so don't worry about that. So what I mean is by that is you're going to go up, down, 1, 2. Up, down, 1, 2. And we're just going to keep that going. So don't step back too far when you're coming down from your step up, because then you're going to be too far away from this to go right up to your next step. If we're taking jumping jacks to a step jack, it should work just fine. Up, down, step, step. Up, down, step, step. See how that works just fine? Might start to get a little off center from your box, depending on how large your steps are. So every once in a while you might have to recenter yourself if you're doing the step jacks, but that's fine. So pick a height that's appropriate for you for the steps. If you're feeling like you want a little more challenge, go a little bit higher. So we do have some different options at the gyms for different heights. But I recommend saying it in your head or even out loud like I did. Up, down, 1, 2. Up, down, 1, 2. And that'll kind of help keep that cadence for you. But that's our step up jumping jack station. Next station, number 5, is a V-sit single arm overhead press. So shoulders. But the V-sit is going to offer a lot of different kind of core engagement. Okay, looks a little goofy, don't worry about it. So you're sitting on the floor and you do want the legs out in a V like this. That's the point. So legs aren't straight out like this. Okay. Got our weight. From here, we're going to do a normal overhead press. Halfway through the set, you'll switch sides. So this and the next station are both going to require switching sides. So your coach can call out halfway for 2 of the stations at the same time. If it's more comfortable in this position to do palm turned in, I'm going to let that be up to you, each client, you guys as an individual. Because this position, believe it or not, you'll feel it when you try it. It feels very different than just standing. It puts the spine and then therefore the way it works with the shoulders and everything in a very different position. So the shoulder press feels very different. So whatever works better for you is fine. So you guys can pick. For anyone staying off the floor, we're going to turn it into a standard seated version. Nothing fancy. Grab yourself a bench or a chair, and we're going to sit. Still offers more core engagement than standing, because you do have to keep this upright position. So we can't slouch, we can't lean, we can't tilt. So that'll be your option for anyone staying off the floor. Okay, that is our shoulders for the week. All right, last station is a half kneel pull down. Okay, so we got a band hooked up really high, something really high. That's kind of important. I mean, the higher the better. So, because we want to be pulling as down as right as possible, more so than pulling back. So, you want something really high, and you want to be, as much as possible right under it. So you might have to use a pretty hefty resistance band. If you're right under the anchor point and you're using a light resistance band, it might not offer you much resistance. But of course, you can scoot back if you need to. So we're in a half kneel position, which we do a lot. Palms are facing the floor, so fingernails should be facing down, not inward like this. Okay? And we're going to pull down and back, keeping a big proud chest, so we're not going to allow the chest to kind of cave inward like this. So keep that chest out like this. Elbows are going to pull back. I want you to pretend you're trying to bring your elbows back behind you and like touch your elbows together behind your back. So if you kind of pretend you're doing that, you'll get a really good squeeze in those back muscles. And just keep that going nice and steady. Halfway through the set, same time that the shoulder press person at that station is changing their arms, you're going to change your leg position. Just to get even on each side. It doesn't change what's happening with the upper body. Just to get that even stability work on each side. Okay. So again, that movement is going to look, for the front, it looks like this. Anyone staying off the floor, not doing our kneeling exercises, I'm going to turn into a seated pull down. Okay. So place the bench or the box wherever it's appropriate. And really, again, everything looks good. We don't have to change sides or anything, but the upper body pulling movement looks exactly the same, so I don't need to review anything again with that. You're seated on a bench instead of on the knees. So that is our final station. And the team builder. I don't have anyone to demo this with, so it's a very sad demonstration. Coaches will know what I'm talking about because it's been the team builder before, plus in our other base burn and build. Anyway, but it's a stability ball caterpillar. It's super, super fun, and it looks super goofy, so I hope some of the coaches get some good videos of this. But since I don't have anyone with me to demonstrate it, because you cannot do it with one person, I'll use a wall. But hopefully you can do this as many stability balls as you have at your gym to accommodate the amount of people you have. If you have a big enough group of people, I know some of our clubs get up to like 12 people in their sessions, you'll have to split this and do 2 different groups of people because we don't have enough stability balls. But like if I was the leader of the caterpillar, and then the wall would be the next human being, the next person, and I'm going to walk slowly, and they're going to walk with me and try to keep the ball from falling. But ideally, there'd be someone behind them with another ball, and then someone behind them with another ball, and we're all moving together, trying to keep those stability balls from falling. So you have to work together, work as a team builder, to try to keep squished together enough to keep the balls from falling. It's super fun, actually. It's a good time. Your coach can tell you if you want to go on one big loop or go to the front of the room and walk backwards, perhaps, to add an extra challenge. However you're going to get this done. But yeah, let's give our stability ball caterpillar a try this week and have a little fun. All right, so that is week 43. Hope everyone enjoys this workout, some of these new exercises, and see you back next week.